Right, here we are talking about, I'm going to give you two of the most common reasons why somebody stays flat in their feet when they're pushing off. Remember, oops, sorry about that. Remember, we're not supposed to stay flat when we push off. We're supposed to be flat when our foot hits the ground. And when we go to push off, our foot is supposed to raise up off the ground. The arch becomes rigid so that we can push off the bones and the joints of the foot and then push ourselves forward using a rigid lever. Now, there's two reasons why, the most common, there's a lot of reasons, but the two most common reasons why somebody stays flat when they're not supposed to is because either the ankle is limited in its ability to bend, so we have tightness in the calf or tightness in the ankle joint itself. That's number one. This is what this video shows here in a minute. And we also know number two is the hip ability to extend back as we're walking. If that's limited, which is very common because of sitting, that will also cause this gait abnormality. So let's take a look at this video real quick. I'm going to put this video on loop so it just keeps going while I'm talking. Now, you're going to pay attention here to this back foot when he's stepping forward. And that was a really good moment right there. You can see that when he does this, you can see that there's a turn of the foot. And he's asking his ankle to bend. Right at that last moment, it's trying to bend because his right foot is reaching forward. And you can see that it's limited in its bend. So what happens is the foot turns to the outside, and you can see that the arch, the foot flattens out more like a pancake. And you can just imagine how he's pushing off of the plantar fascia and the Achilles tendon, the soft tissue, because we know that the arch is supposed to raise up off the ground and lock the foot joints up. So number one here, this is an indicator that this person either has a limited ankle that doesn't want to bend, which you can improve through stretching and manual therapy. Now let me show you something else here. In our presentation that we do for low back pain, we talk a lot about this muscle right here. This is called the iliopsoas. And that person who was walking that video could also have had limited flexibility in this muscle. You can see that this muscle comes from the spine and it wraps down into the hip, and you can see how it turns into the groin, so it wraps around. Now, when you're sitting, this muscle is completely relaxed. It's doing nothing. It's on slack. When you stand up, the muscle gets a little bit taut, but when you take a step forward, the leg that's behind you, that muscle has to get really stretched out. And if it doesn't have the flexibility, it will give itself a compensation mechanism where, since it turns to the inside of the groin, it'll turn the whole leg to the outside. Just like this guy right here in this video we were just watching, right? His whole leg turns to the outside as soon as he gets into extension. Right there, boom. And now we know that that's causing the foot not to lock up when it's supposed to. And again, the second most common reason is because the hip is tight in the front, which can also cause back pain and knee pain and all kinds of other issues. If you want to learn strategies on how to work on the mobility of your foot and ankle as well as the hip in order to reduce the pain that's in your foot, I would highly encourage you come to our free Achilles tendonitis and plantar fasciitis workshop that's happening this month. You are invited. There's only 20 seats available. You simply call the number in the email, or you reply back to me, or you can click the link to register or learn more online. I really appreciate you listening to me. Hopefully there is an audience out there. Sometimes I wonder, so if you even want to just reply back and say how much you liked it, I would really appreciate that. And I hope you guys are all doing good out there and enjoying this -4 degree day. Brr.